What's up, peeps? Joel Williams here at the distance. Got a video for you guys. Just now getting home from work a while back. Got some time to do a couple predictions for you guys. This one's going to be for the upcoming bout between Timothy Bradley and Manny Pacquiao for the WBO welterweight championship, I believe. Bout takes place on June 9th on HBO pay-per-view. Puts together the challenge of Timothy Bradley against the champion and #1 pound-for-pound fighter Manny Pacquiao. And to be honest with you, I haven't even read much of the pound-for-pound rankings. I think Pacquiao's #1. I could be wrong, but anyway, that's just a totally different story. So now we have Manny Pacquiao versus Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley signed with Top Rank back in, I believe, September or October. I'm hoping to get this bout. Called out Manny Pacquiao back in 2010 after his July bout against Luis Abregu. Pretty much, following the fight, he went in, he fought Devin Alexander in January 2011, and then after I guess leaving Gary Shaw, who signed up with the Top Rank and fought Joel Casamayor, and probably one of his first knockouts in a while. So just overall, Timothy Bradley has all the tools to beat Manny Pacquiao. First off, Timothy Bradley has longer reach. He has quick hands, counters well with his right hand, and fights well at close proximity. Also, Tim Bradley fights, with the way that he fights, there is always that possibility of a headbutt, and I can guarantee you that there will be a 90% chance that this fight could probably end on a technical decision, just because Bradley's tendency to lead in with his head, and but best believe there's going to be a few clash of heads in this bout, I believe, and being that Pacquiao's a southpaw, of course, and Bradley's tendency to collide heads with his opponents, like I said, she's gonna leave that 90% possibility of it happening. Now, I don't remember it happening in the Casamayor fight. I could be wrong, but just overall in this fight, I know Bradley's gonna come in and he's gonna be very aggressive. So, and I'll start with Bradley. In order for Bradley to win, he has to bridge the gap very close. Just because, in the early rounds, he has to get close to Pacquiao. And as I mentioned, Bradley fights well in close proximity. He does well, using his jab, leading in with his jab, and getting the short punches on the inside, getting them to the body, or shorting up the right hand up top. So in this fight, he's gonna have to move a lot towards Pacquiao's right, because Pacquiao likes to catch opponents with the left hand. And also, Bradley has shown in fights against quick-handed opponents that he does have a susceptibility to the left hand from a certain range. So pretty much in this fight, he's gonna have to drive Pacquiao back and make Pacquiao fight off the back foot. He's gonna have to use his jab, lead in with his jab, work off the jab, to get inside and just go to the body, cut off the ring. And that's pretty much the main objective for Bradley in this fight. He has to cut off the ring, lead him behind the quick jab that he throws well, catch Pacquiao with a few good right hand leads. The right hand lead is going to be important for Bradley, and as I mentioned, he throws a good right hand lead, and also throws a very nice, quick, short counter right hand. He shortens up his right hand very well within the mid range. So pretty much he has to mix it all together. He has to be the one making Pacquiao make the adjustments in this fight. That's pretty much, I think, the way that Bradley has to go about this fight. He's going to have to dictate the pace from beginning to end, from bell to bell. And he's definitely going to have to be in great shape facing the Manny Pacquiao and taking it to him in the later rounds. I think pretty much working the early rounds and also working the later rounds is going to be, a telling factor for Bradley. But he's going to have to continue, fighting at a fast pace, because Bradley fights well at a fast pace. He's going to have to continue coming in, fighting off that fast pace, fighting off the front foot, and just cutting off the ring. On the other hand, you have Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao has power, has a lot of power in that left hand. Very quick on his feet, quick with his hands. Has decent lateral movement. Pretty much, very good combination puncher. We saw him in the last fight against Marquez, and one thing I did notice, and I didn't mention for Bradley, is Pacquiao does tend to have trouble with fighters that move. That kind of, set him up with specific shots. And Bradley is very quick on his feet. Pacquiao's going to have to be the one, making I think that he's going to have to make Bradley chase him. one thing I noticed about Bradley is when Bradley turns his body, when he turns his body, he's open to the left hand. Majority of the time. So Pacquiao's going to have to make Bradley chase after him, and he's going to have to make Bradley turn. So when he turns, he could catch him with the left hand. He has to catch him with a lot of stiff left hands in this fight, and he has to set him up using his movement, using his lateral movement, fighting off the jab, and even looking to catch Bradley as he's walking in. That would be another key factor for him in the fight. If he can shorten his left hand as Bradley's walking in, he could possibly actually knock out Bradley if he catches Bradley with enough of those. And also, he has to catch him, when he's, as I mentioned, as he's walking in, shorten up the left hand, and he has to move right off the ropes. He has to fight this one at the center of the ring, because if he fights this one on the ropes, Bradley's going to have that advantage. He's going to have the advantage, and he's going to be throwing a lot of volume shots while Pacquiao's on the ropes. And Bradley is good at just letting his hands go when the opponent's on the ropes. So I think Pacquiao should just take this to the center of the ring, look to try the and as I mentioned before, Bradley does have the shorter reach, but Pacquiao's going to have to use the hand speed to the advantage. Look to land the left in between Bradley's guard. Look to turn him. Look to turn him and land the left hand. Look to use his southpaw jab to set up some combinations, and go on from there. But anyway, who I think is going to win this fight? I've been debating whether who I was going to choose ever since I heard about this fight. There's a very slight possibility that Pacquiao could catch Bradley. Maybe stepping off the back foot with the left hand because Bradley, even facing southpaws, even when he faced Alexander, Alexander was probably a second off, from catching him with the left hand. There's always that possibility that Bradley walks into that shot, and Pacquiao's done well with opponents that just walk towards him in a straight line, and Bradley doesn't necessarily walk in that straight line. He angles his body and positions himself so that he can get inside and just continue to throw his volume punches. So on the other hand, I think that Bradley has a very good chance of just outworking Pacquiao. But just overall in this fight, my prediction is Timothy Bradley takes this one in a close split decision. So anyway, peeps, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.